This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, here's my official take on the Shawn Porter versus the Yordenis Ugas fight. I'm going to say that again. Shawn Porter versus the Yordenis Ugas fight. Ugas is Cuban, man. So we know Cuban fighters, you know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Ortiz, you know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Laura, you know what I'm saying? Cuban fighters, man. Shout outs to Rigondeaux. Cuban fighters have a pedigree with them, man. You know, they have, a lot of them, a lot of times have a good amateur background. You know, they're strong, man. You know, they have well-coached trainers that teach them the fundamentals of boxing. You know what I'm saying? And they make noise. You know, there's a lot of champions. I've just mentioned a few that come through the ranks that are Cuban. And they represent. And when I say they represent hard. So Ugas is not going to be an easy task for Shawn Porter. And I'm going to tell you 3 reasons why. Here's the first reason. Ugas is hungry. You know that eye that I see in Ugas' face when he had that face off with Shawn Porter? It was the same eye that I saw in Kell Brook. You know, and I feel like Shawn Porter's repeating the same cycle of the same mistake. Like, yeah, my bro in arms, get a mic boxing. I know you loves you some Shawn Porter, dude. But don't watch this video because I'm going in straight Superman, Etherin, and Merkin style. Because to me, Shawn Porter is just not an it factor fighter. I feel you on the hustling aspect of Shawn Porter. Yeah, he's a hustler, you know what I'm saying? For a guy to turn things around from being a football player to a boxer, that speaks volumes, you know what I'm saying? I got to give him hats off for that. But my take on it is he's no longer a 147-pound fighter. And he needs to be real with himself. I just think that he doesn't have the power to move up. And I think that's the fear. His ass should have been 154 pounds about 2 to 3 fights ago. If we're being real with ourselves, that's the truest and most properest levels that stuff belongs on. Because, look, man, he couldn't make weight. He had to strip naked and he had to cut his fucking braids just to get to 146.8. Come on, man. The dude's not disciplined like he used to be to make weight for 147 pounds. And I think his body just can't make that weight anymore. I don't think it's not that he didn't train hard. You know what I'm saying? I just think his body can't make the weight. I seriously believe he's taking this opponent lightly, man, because him and his father, especially his father, just a day or 2 days ago, they talking about after the fight, you know, hopefully we can fly and go see Spence. Don't make that same mistake you guys made when you fought Kell Brook. Because remember, when they fought Kell Brook, they did that same shit. They were thinking about the next fighter. Shawn Constipated Porter is not that good to be focusing on the next fighter. Even fighters that are better than him. The Floyd Mayweathers of the world, the Andre Wards of the world, the Earl Spencers of the world in his weight class, the Terrence Bud Crawfords. They focus on the task at hand, man. They try to make sure they dispatch their opponents. You hear Earl Spence? He's fighting a lightweight. A guy that shouldn't even be in the same breath with him. He's the behemoth and the mammoth over that dude. Via what? 5th round TKO stoppage and booked that motherfucker. But he's treating him like a welterweight. I think that Shawn Porter's taking Ugas lightly because I've never seen Shawn Porter miss a weight class. I've never seen him miss a weigh-in. I'm saying weight class. A weigh-in. To me, that's ridiculous. That tells me that he wasn't training as hard. And again, Shawn Porter trains hard now. We don't ever sit here and question his training. But I don't think he trained as hard for this fight. Because we know damn well if his ass was fighting Errol the Truth Spence, he wouldn't have missed no damn weight. Come on, man. We need to keep it real. We got to keep a buck. We got to, you know what I'm saying, call a buck or what? A buck. We got to keep it a buck, dog. We got to keep it real. We got to call this thing 100. We got to call a spade a what? A spade, man. Shawn Porter is not taking this guy seriously, and you can see it. And Ugas is hungry. Ugas might turn around and pull an upset. I don't see no stoppage in this fight because Shawn Porter is just a hard outing, man. You can't just knock that dude out. That's not going to happen. With his awkward, you know what I'm saying, reject version or poor man's version of a wannabe Mike Tyson, you know what I'm saying? Because he has the movement that Mike Tyson has, you know what I'm saying, that awkward lateral movement that goes side to side. But once he gets in close quarters, that's why I call him Shawn Constipated Porter, because he's constipated. He doesn't know what to throw. He just wants to sit there and smother you, you know? And that shit will work for mid-level fighters. in the welterweight division. That will work for the likes of Andre Berto, but it's not going to work for upper echelon fighters. That's why that Danny Garcia fight could have gone either way. Because Danny Garcia level and up can expose a lot of that herky-jerky constipation to where you just go in there and you smother cats. Because what Shawn Porter has in grit and he has in hustle, he lacks in fundamentals, man. He lacks that severely. And I think that's a coaching issue. If he changes his coach up, I think he can work on some things. Because Shawn Porter's not one of these allergic to learning type of fighters. Because if Timothy Bradley, not bullet head ass, can learn some fundamentals, under the likes of, that world-renowned trainer, you know what I'm saying? Then why can't Shawn Porter not learn something? I'm just saying, man. We got to look at things for what it truly is. It is what it is, man. Teddy Atlas had not had bullet head ass Timothy Bradley learning some fundamentals. And if his ass, the one that looked like he's about to stumble over his feet, that's what happened in that, Manny Pacquiao fight. That's why he broke his damn leg, because he stumbled across his feet with his bad, his bullshit ass footwork. I don't know what the fuck going on with that dude's footwork, but that's neither here nor there. If Teddy Atlas can make an honest, somewhat of a boxer out of him, come on. Shawn Porter got more discipline, man. Shawn Porter's been in there. He sparred with the likes of Earl Spence. He's been in there with Demetrius Andrade. He's been in there, with a lot of these guys, Usyk and, a lot of these different cats, man. He's sparred with Manny Pacquiao, man. And this is when Manny Pacquiao was in his prime. So he's been in there with the elites and the top quality guys in fighting. So I believe that Shawn Porter has the potential, and he has the unquenchable drive that you got to give him credit for. So hats off to that. But I feel they've been taking Ugas lightly, man. And I would not be surprised if an upset takes place. I still got Shawn Porter winning this fight. But I'm a little shaky in that win. I'm not even going to lie to you. And I know people are going to sit here and say, man, that's a little back and forth. But I have to call a spade, man. When I see situations like this that cause me to have to caution because of the fact that a guy did not train as hard as he's supposed to because he's not getting up for the fight. Even he admitted it, man, back in 2018 when they had that press conference, when all of them was standing up next to each other. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying, I'm fighting this dude Ugas. I don't even know who he is. I got to study up on him. When he said that right there, you could see, because we know Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter is a student of the game, man. When he's fighting an opponent that he gets up for, he will study that opponent up and down. If this was Keith Thurman, he would have been training, dog. Come on, man. We got to keep it real. I think his ass trained just strictly 8 weeks for this fight. That's why his ass missed weight. Because the Shawn Porter that I know, the Kenny Porters that I know, the Porters that I know, their ass will be training for 12 weeks. They do an extra 4 weeks than the other, so that way they can make sure they get that extra, energy battery backpack on their back so that they can do all of that smothering for 12 fucking rounds. How do you think Shawn Porter is able to endure all of that? But I'm telling y'all, man, do not be surprised if there's an upset in this fight. Because I saw Ugas. The man looked ready. He looked ripped. He looked in shape. And the eyes, a lot of times in these wins, they be the telltale, man. And the man looks determined. I don't know if he has everything in his ability and his arsenal to pull it off. But this was the same thing we were saying about Kell Brook a few years back, man. Who did Kell Brook fight? You know what I'm saying? All these, pedestrians that he was fighting. You know what I'm saying? But what did he do? He beat Shawn Porter. And there's a blueprint. All you got to do is look at Kell Brook. All you got to do is look at Keith Thurman. There's a blueprint on how to beat Shawn Porter. If you can box well off of the back foot and you can keep his smothering at bay, you know what I'm saying? And you can hold him when you need to hold him. Kell Brook did that better than anybody. You can whoop his ass. And all this bullshit about Kenny Porter saying Shawn Porter's ducking Earl Spence. Come on, man. Please don't start this nonsense. See, every time Earl Spence have a fight, that's when these motherfuckers want to come out. But when Earl Spence is in the queue waiting for a fight, they're nowhere to be found. Hence, that's why he has the boogeyman status. But my prediction is Shawn Porter's going to win 7 rounds to 5. It possibly could be a draw, or possibly Yordenis Ugas can pull off the upset. This is Hinos' Sport, checking out.